I rise yet again to implore the government and the Greens to back our calls for an inquiry into new transmission line builds and the process of consultation with landholders, farmers and Indigenous stakeholders in determining the routes and the methods of transmission. Their continual refusal to support this inquiry demonstrates the absolute contempt this government has for regional communities, because the Greens are quite happy to see rangelands and grasslands covered in glass and silicon for solar farms. They're quite happy for sections of native forests and national parks to have swathes cut through them so that we can erect transmission lines to connect renewables in far distant locations to where they're actually used in the cities, which are concrete jungles. And let's not forget Labor's transmission lines debacles. The Albanese government has already gained a reputation for lip service when it comes to consultation. They are forcing businesses and industry groups to sign confidentiality agreements just to consult on policies that directly impact what they do. Forcing businesses to sign these agreements is an appalling way to give Australians confidence that the government is listening and acting on the concerns they have. I mean, what happened to the government of transparency? We are not saying absolutely no to transmission lines, but we are saying we need to review the processes that have been put in place. We need to understand and we need to let these people be heard so that we can ensure, unlike the first iteration of Transgrid, we can ensure that best practice is followed. Labor government members, so of course they found nothing to see here. Overhead transmission lines are great, and our national parks don't matter, our koala habitat doesn't matter, our Burrabong frog doesn't matter. I'm calling on the Greens to follow the advice of their New South Wales state colleagues. I'm calling on my friend David Pocock to apply the same principle to transmission lines as he does to gas pipelines. Because I saw, Senator Pocock, I saw your comments the other week in Narrabri standing there saying agriculture is too important to see gas pipelines built across the landscape. Well, the same should be said for transmission lines. So if you're willing to call out gas pipelines, you should be willing to call out transmission lines, or at the very least support an investigation and an inquiry. I mean, come on. Get on board, people, and support this inquiry. We know that these lines will impact on koala habitat. We know that they require vast swathes of landscape to be cleared. We know that there are concerns about bushfire risks. If the transmission line goes through your property will not be able to be insured against bushfires. So all of the farmers that are going to be under transmission lines won't be able to have bushfire insurance for their farms, for their pastures, for their crops. So I don't understand the logic of those opposite who claim that they want to save the planet, but they're happy to destroy Australia's environment to do so. It was made abundantly clear to the committee that HumeLink, as currently proposed, has no social licence. So let us have this inquiry. I don't tire of asking, because I actually quite like standing here and standing up for my constituents and my communities so that their stories are heard. But wouldn't it be better for all of you if, instead of hearing it through me, you heard it direct? In closing, I just say, get on board. Let us have this inquiry. Then you don't have to listen to us every other Tuesday talking about it again and again. Let us have the inquiry. Let us hear from the people who want to be heard and stop avoiding scrutiny and transparency.